Summer is officially here, and with summer comes high summer temperatures and heat stress in our cool season lawns. This video I'm going to talk about some simple tips that I use and that you can use as well to make sure that you're getting great results all summer long. In the heat of summer, we want to make sure that we're not adding any additional stress onto the lawn that it's already getting from these elevated temperatures, because let's face it, at this point in the year, if you have a cool season lawn, especially if you're in the transition zone, or maybe you're a little bit further south of the transition zone, your lawn's just going to want to check out. So in order to reduce any amount of stress or additional stress we're putting on the lawn, you're going to want to continue to mow the lawn regularly. And by doing so, I want to make sure that you're not cutting too much of the grass blade off when you are doing that, because when you do cut too much of the grass blade off, you are putting some undue stress on the lawn. So I want you to continue to mow the lawn as you normally would, although as we move from spring into summer, the best times to mow your lawn are going to be early in the morning or late in the evening if you can possibly do that. Now I realize not everyone has the same schedule and it may be hard for you to do that, but these are the best times to mow your lawn, especially in the heat of summer when you don't want to put any additional stress on your grass. One of the main benefits to mowing your lawn regularly is that it's going to thicken up and it's going to shade out that dirt so it doesn't heat up as quickly in the summer. Also, when you mow regularly, you're going to notice that your grass is going to thicken up. If it's the only thing that you do, if you don't do any fertilizers or water or anything, as long as you mow correctly, you're going to notice a difference in your lawn. And as a side note, always make sure that you're cutting with a sharp blade so that you're getting a nice clean cut and you're not tearing the grass blade, especially if you're using a rotary mower. This is going to help reduce the amount of stress that you're also putting on the grass. Now, if your grass looks pretty good overall and you got a nice green stand of turf, but you're noticing some areas that are starting to brown out a little bit or maybe check out, that's definitely a sign of stress. So you want to take a look at that. Look at the grass blades. If they're just starting to turn brown, they're probably just going dormant. Typically, these are going to be areas along sidewalks and driveways because the concrete will tend to heat up that part of the dirt quicker than it will in the middle of the lawn. So you want to look at the grass blade, and if you see any lesions, make sure you're looking for types of disease. There will be a clear indicator on the grass blade if you do have some disease, whether it's gray leaf spot or dollar spot. Depending on what you have, make sure you diagnose that. You can always do some research, some independent research to find out what you've got going on. Reach out to an extension office that's local to you, figure out what you've got going on. Chances are it's probably just stress turf from the heat that's coming off the sidewalks, especially if it's on the perimeter. If the grass blades are starting to look a little bit wilted, or maybe you're getting some individualized spots that maybe are called hot spots, where if you have an irrigation system and your sprinklers are not hitting those areas, you can always just take a hose and hand water those areas to make sure that you are getting a nice deep watering in those spots, which leads me to my next point with irrigation. So when it comes to irrigation, you want to make sure that you're getting an adequate amount of water onto the grass throughout the week. Generally, you want to target somewhere between 1 and 2 inches per week on a cool season lawn. Now, on this Kentucky bluegrass lawn, this, as I have learned over time, just consumes and uses a lot more water during the summer than, say, a fescue lawn would. But I'm fortunate enough to have an in-ground irrigation system here, so I can easily set my timer to water appropriately. If you do not have in-ground irrigation, there are a couple of other options that you can do, some DIY options to help make sure you're getting plenty of water out on your lawn. These oscillating sprinklers have been around forever. You can find these pretty much anywhere. They're very affordable. These do work. The only issue with these sprinklers is they do take a very long time to get that amount of water if you're targeting between 1 inch and 2 inches per week of actually getting this out onto the lawn. So I have another option for you. And this one is pretty simple. It's just a standard in-ground rotor put on a spike. These are very easy to make. You can make one of these sprinklers for about $15, and you can put these in a series of 2 or 3 if you want to, depending on your water pressure at your house. But these are a really good option for you if you want to get more water down. So I'll put a link in the description for all the parts that you need in order to make one of these, but these are really effective and they're very inexpensive to make. All you have to do is hook a hose up to it, and you can water the lawn that way. If you have a soil probe handy, you can see the soil moisture in the lawn. If you actually take a soil sample, you can test and feel it and see how much moisture you're getting down to make sure that you are getting an adequate amount of water in to actually reach the root zone. Generally, if you want to actually measure that, you can use the Tupperware or a tuna can, or you can even buy, there are some precipitation gauges that you can order to see exactly how much water you're getting down onto the lawn. The key here is that you don't want to water during the day, and you want to water more in the early mornings. I usually water somewhere between 4 and 5 a.m. As you water during the heat of the day, you're going to lose some of that water to evaporation. So if you water in the morning, you're watering where you're not getting as much wind, so it won't distort the water, but then you're also not losing as much water to evaporation because it's not as hot. If you happen to notice a couple of weeds popping up on your lawn, this is totally normal. For times of stress, the weeds are going to want to take over while the grass is a little bit weak and it's stressed out for the summer heat. So instead of spraying some of these ester-based type of herbicides on the lawn that could stress the lawn out, like a T-zone or something like a 3-way or a 4-way herbicide, just get yourself one of these weeders. It makes it really easy to just pull a couple weeds out of the ground. You're not damaging anything and you're not hurting the surrounding grass by spraying any ester-based herbicides at the same time. So when it comes to fertilizing your lawn in the summer, my take on it is to just leave it on the shelf. For a cool season lawn that's under a lot of heat stress, you really don't want to add a lot of nitrogen. It's just going to stress the grass out even more. Your growth potential is really starting to decrease at this point, and the grass just doesn't want to be fed. It really doesn't want to grow. It just wants to stay in a dormancy. But the best thing you can do is to irrigate. But if you do apply something, you can apply wetting agents, or you can apply some sort of growth hormone that's going to help root development, as your roots will naturally decline in the summer. Something that I apply from time to time is this multi-purpose 402 from BioPro. This is a multi-purpose product that has sea kelp in it, which is going to help root development, to help keep those roots alive during the summer. It's also going to have a wetting agent in there as well. The wetting agent is going to help maximize the water that we are putting down to make sure that we're getting it down into the root zone. But then also it has very minimal nutrients in it. It's a 4% nitrogen product. So if you're applying this out on your lawn, make sure that you're doing it in the evening, as well as kind of the same timetable as when you're mowing. You don't want to apply anything to your lawn in the middle of the day when it's hot, because you're going to continue to add different stressors into the lawn. So by focusing on mowing, watering, very little inputs, you're going to get the best results out of your lawn during the summer as you lead into fall. The best time to go ahead and go back in and start fertilizing again is going to be, depending on where you are in the country, sometime in the late summer to early fall. So for me, that's around Labor Day weekend. September, we're going to get back into fertilizing the lawn again as our growth potential start to come back up. So those are some simple tips that you can follow to help keep your lawn looking great all summer long. Just have your expectations in the right place. You are going to notice a little bit of decline. You're going to want to go out and try and fix some things by adding fertilizer. Just don't try to overcorrect. Just stay the course. See it out until the end of summer going into fall, and I guarantee you're going to see some great results. So with that, I hope you guys enjoyed the content here. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the video. Leave me some comments down in the comment section, and hopefully I'll see you guys in the next one.